All right, welcome everybody. This is Kevin Connect live from Lakewood Ranch right here in beautiful Lakewood Ranch, Florida from our backyard. It's a pleasure and a privilege to have you here on our live Google Hangout this afternoon. And really the purpose of this Hangout today, I know we have some guests watching on the recording. We have some new affiliates, and we certainly have some veterans like us who are tuning in for all the excitement of what's happening in Empower Network right now. And I just want to give you guys a quick background on Melissa and myself. She'll be out here in just a minute. And she realized, hey, we're going to be outside. It's kind of warm out here. I just stuck my feet in the water here. It's beautiful. It's about 88 degrees outside right now. The pool's about 84. We're about 15, 20 minutes from the beach. And we're neighbors with Paulo and Gerda Barroso, who are great friends of ours that we've met here in Empower Network. And we share a common income result so far of a little over halfway to $1 million with kids. And I'm here to say that that's available for anybody on this broadcast as well. Not saying, of course, you'll do that. In fact, I've got to say an income disclosure as we start the broadcast. If you want to see average earnings of average affiliates, then please see endisclosure.com. But I'm here to say that you can go from bankrupt to bank like we have, and I want to talk to you guys today about that. More importantly, of the enhancements of Empower Network and what that means for you, and how, truthfully, you guys can do it a lot faster than we've done it, which is awesome. And really the purpose of this webinar today, whether you're watching live right now, or maybe you're catching this recording a little bit later, is for you to believe that you can do it as well. And knowing that Melissa and myself are going to be here for you over the next 6 months, the second half of 2014. We're not even at the halfway point yet. And as we get there, our mission is to help 10 families break totally free. And what I mean by that is to help 10 families who maybe don't even know this yet, but we'll figure out in the next several days, that they too can break free and generate a six-figure income here in the back half of 2014. So I want you to internalize that for just a minute and see if that's really possible. Or think if that's really possible for you. 6 figures in the next 6 months. And of course, I'll say the income disclosure one more time. Those are definitely not typical results. And nor did Melissa and I have typical results. When we got started here, we just got to work. We got to our first event. We came back home, and we got busy from our dusty old Phoenix townhouse. And anything but dusty and old. My wife Melissa is here now. What an introduction.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, you're welcome.
I suppose there could be worse introductions.
Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't Melissa look great on camera, guys? I mean, it's so great to have you here because I get, when I do these by myself, sometimes people are like, where's Melissa?
I just realized you're wearing the same color. Isn't that nice of me to color coordinate?
You saw what I was wearing. So
I know, but I didn't pay attention.
You just did.
This is what I came to in the closet.
Yeah. So anyway, it's great to have you guys here. And I just was basically saying hello, welcome, and really today we're going to talk about what we got out of New Orleans and also what's coming, some of the compensation plan enhancements and how working with the team now pays more,
right? And
how we can really do great things together working as a team. And I know we're going to have some other leaders pop on here in a little bit too. I sent out the links, so feel free to pop on in, and we'll get to that here in just a little bit. So first off, let's start with the announcements. In case you guys have been hiding under a rock, we're in the middle of a 72-hour window right now where you can get all in with Empower Network and actually make more commissions. You can actually, I think Elena put this on her Facebook yesterday, saying that you can now make more than 100% commissions. If you come in and buy all the products for $2,997 and people join your team and they buy the products at the actual retail value after 10 days,
piecemeal and all.
Yeah, you can actually make about 168% commission.
I've been thinking a lot about all of the positioning and, people, some people are still having to get a little uncomfortable and creative to get all in, but it's all about the leverage. I had a conversation with someone on our team that said, I was thinking of paying off a bill, and I said, but then the money's gone, right? Then that's it. You've spent it and it's gone. It cannot do anything for you at that point. But if you use, we used rent money because we thought, well, if we leverage the money that we have in our hands or that we could get a hold of, then out of what we'll make, we can not only pay the rent, but we're in the game, right? We're in a position to not only have all the products and speak from having all the products, but utilize them in our business and do with integrity. Because I think what happens for a lot of people that kind of come in and stick their toe in the water, might buy a product here, product there, what happens is that's about how fast their success goes. Because you know in your mind that you should get the products, and that you have to have them all, and you're subconsciously, you will not make as many sales, if any, because you have this subconscious feeling of, well, what if someone comes in and they go all in and I'm not all in? Or if they come in and ask me, so do you have the 15K? Do you have the Masters? And you have to say to them, no, I don't. I'm going to get it eventually. Like, all of that tentative energy, it's just like a blood clot to your business. And so we wanted to set ourselves up. We understood by this point when we got started with Empower, we understood how things work. We understood the energy of being in flow. And so even before this bundling took place, we understood that you should just put yourself in the best position to be successful. Now, I mean, you have to be, honestly, there has to be something wrong. You have to go look in the mirror and say, okay, what is my mental block with why I cannot accept success? Because this is the biggest step that you can take in this business. And, I'll be so bold as to say, if you're not going to take advantage of this, you really have to question what you're doing here.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what was I going to say? It just totally ran out of my mind because you actually smell really good right now. I got distracted.
Oh, thank you, Tom. I just saw your comment. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. I saw your comment, too. Thank you very much. I love how we can see the comments here. It's kind of funny. So, but yeah, what we wanted to do here, guys, is keep it really brief today and let you guys know if you have any questions, there's a chat box as you're watching this live. Now, if you're watching this on the recording, there's still a chat box, and the questions will come to us. That's the beauty of this webinar jam system. So we will eventually get around to answering the question if you're watching the recording. But the best thing to do, of course, is to come back live. We're going to do this again tomorrow, same time at 3 p.m., and I know more people will come back because we'll have, or maybe we should do it in the evening. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Figure out a time. And if you're not tuning into the Facebook group, that's where most of the updated stuff happens in the moment. It's just easy to post there on the fly. It takes a little longer to create broadcasts and emails and whatnot. So if you're not tuning in, set up notifications so you get them sent to you right away from the Facebook group, Team Audacity Facebook group.
Yeah, exactly. What I wanted to talk to you guys also was about what's coming up in Charlotte and why it's so different from the other Empower Network events. Because some of you guys have been to previous events, and a lot of you guys were not in New Orleans, and we got to see something completely different from what Dave Wood presented, especially on Sunday, the VIP day, on why you want to be there, and talk about the enhancements of the products. And what we have available now is awesome, but know that over the next 6 months, everything that you see in your back office right now is going through an upgrade. The products are going through an upgrade. There's constantly more inner circles coming. The blogging platform is being upgraded. Yeah. The Costa Rica Intensive is being upgraded with the product, the Top Producers Formula, that was recorded in Seattle. And then, what was the product that we just saw, New Orleans? What was the actual name of that? I couldn't remember.
Oh, the Top Producer. Well, there's Top Producer was.
Right, that was in Seattle. What was that? Team building something?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Off the top of my head, it was simply in one afternoon the most powerful network marketing training I have received, bar none, in all of the years I've been in network marketing. I've been in network marketing, I think, almost more years than I have not.
Yeah.
So that's saying a lot, honestly. Honestly, I think that Dave has some sort of higher power connection to like network marketing gods or something. It's the stuff that comes into his mind, and then he prepared so diligently and memorized all of this information and walked through everything. It was amazing. Hey, Grego.
Hey, how's it going?
Has graced us with his presence.
We always call him Grego. For those of you who don't know him, he's Greg Onishuk. Or I have to say Onishchuk, right? I have to say it more with the. You told me in Miami, right? I have to.
Onishchuk?
Yeah, I have to pronounce the ch more.
It's Chuck, not Shuck. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing awesome. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. You look good. Where are you? Where are you in the world?
I'm in my new apartment in downtown Victoria, my hometown.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, I want to hear your story about your plan for the summer because it's awesome. I know you told me the other day about how you're going to dominate this summer in Victoria after your world tour down in Central America and all that.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
We had a question from Doris about
Hey, Doris.
will the older products still remain in the back office?
Oh.
I believe that unless it's something that's completely outdated, I believe that they'll like do archives.
I think even the first 15K formula is still archived in there, although some of that information's out of date now, but it's still there.
But it's nice to kind of go back and review and whatever. As far as I know, all of that's going to say is up for. I mean, you know, and just to that point again, we've worked in companies where they had one product, they didn't upgrade it the enther time we were in the business for years. It became very, very outdated.
So 3 companies I can think of off the top of my head.
You know, would they have to upgrade everything? No, they could probably get away with just you know, selling it as is. But that's where it's just really this dedication, and this is where you really see the heart behind Empower and their dedication to just continually up in the game. And Emo, thank you so much.
I think that's Emmanuel. Emmanuel in Sweden.
That's a cool nickname, Emmanuel. Emo.
Yeah. Hey, welcome from Sweden. And there's Doris saying hi, and Alicia. Thanks for all the great comments, guys. Yeah, leave your chats over there. If
you have any questions as we go along, sure.
Yeah, I think everybody else can read them too, so be careful what you write.
Yeah. Yes. And yes, Doris, that's one of them. There were others.
Yeah. Okay, great. Oh. Yes, thank you, Doris. That's correct. That's one of the 3. You get a bonus if you get the other 2.
Yeah.
Greg O, my friend. What says you? What's been going on in your world? I'd love to hear about the move and what you have planned for this summer and with what's going on in your business.
Yeah, well, like you know, I spent the winter down there in Colombia, and I came back up for the Seattle event, which was right across the water here from Victoria, and just started hanging out with old friends and seeing my mom and brother and stuff, and I just thought, hey, what a, you know, I'm from here. I just haven't lived here in 18 years, so I thought, you know, it'd be cool to reconnect with people and spend the summer here. So that's the plan, and going to Charlotte now. I hadn't really planned on going to Charlotte, but I figured, you know, well, for obvious reasons, this is what we got to do. So I think I have 3 or 4 people getting all in this weekend and getting to Charlotte, so I'm pumped about that.
Awesome.
Actually, I'm trying to get a couple of them on the Hangout right now. If they can't get on, maybe they'll get on tomorrow. We're going to do this again tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to do it again tomorrow, and this is recorded, so they can also go back and watch what we've said as well. So,
okay, cool.
But yeah, I mean, it's so great that you know, it's like so many people are having this renaissance in their business. It's not only, you know, okay, so you have all of these people on your team doing that, and they're doing that because they know there's going to be an absolute frenzy of people, as you know, that are going to be coming in, and they want to be positioned as much as possible. And I know for some people even that is a stretch, but you have to. Tony Robbins says something really profound, and one of the things we talked about in New Orleans on stage was you have to ask better questions. When you say I can't, then it's like a brick wall in your brain. You have shut down your creative power. There's no way to find money. That's it. You're done. You're saying I can't afford it, and honestly, if you utter those words, it's almost like a because it's
yeah, you are.
I think I want you really to say those words and feel the energy of that. It is so detrimental. So even if you find yourself saying be aware, because your language is huge, and so you know the best thing to do is to say, how can I afford it? Ask yourself better questions. You know what? If I found out that there was a hotel you know, across the country from me, and there was going to be $10,000 waiting in that hotel room, $20,000, however much feels like like just a bonanza to you. You know, would I spend the money that's the equivalent of the all-in to get there? If I knew that I could just be given a key to a hotel room and open up the door, and there would be the money. I mean, that really is the equivalent. So what would you do to get the money to get that ticket? What would you do to get the money to if something happened to a family member and they absolutely needed the money? There was just you were the last hope. Something happened and you had to get the money. How would you do it? There are so many creative ways to create it out of thin air. Honestly, it sounds kind of crazy, but I mean there are so many different ways to. I mean, different kinds of loans. You can take money against life insurance policies. There's like, it's amazing if you ask that open-ended question about how can I, and you start to engage your brain and start to put that out in the universe. It's amazing how, like, even just that, notice the difference in how that feels. And I am all about the energy and how things feel. You can notice it. You can see, just saying those words, how much different it feels than saying, I can't afford it. I mean, it's like all of a sudden there's a cloud. I mean, you are just sat on your lap, so
I agree.
So it's really important to get creative. What are some other creative ways you know of, Grego?
Well, I think back when I joined, I guess it was just over 2 years ago now. It's just like that again, doesn't it? Like it's the the first event all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Expensive apartment, and just joined Empower. I was down on my luck too, and didn't have the money, and I got all in. Back then it was only $1,600, but I got all in with basically with money, just like you guys. And then I heard, Don't Be Away, 2.5 weeks away. So I told myself right away I can't afford it. And then I think I was talking to Kevin, and then he said, "Oh, you're not gonna." Okay, well, hell no. So I just started thinking, how can I do it, right? But I can't do it. How can I? And then I realized I had I weren't doing anything. Just this is a better investment than any stock. So
right.
I cashed that $1,500 because rent was coming up too. I borrowed money from my buddy, and I just did it. And because I did it, my belief got to be where it should be, right? That's up to the individual to get their belief where it needs to be, not somebody else. It was not up to you guys to convince me. It was up to me to convince me. So I got there, and I'd never seen anything like it. I had been to events before, so I could have easily just sat at home and said, well, I've been to events, I'll catch the next one, or they're all the same, or whatever. But I thought, no, I really got to do this. And because of that, my belief went through the roof. By the next event, which was only 90 days later in San Diego, I had 10 team members there. I mean, my team was probably 30 or 40 people, but 10 showed up. It was huge, right. And it's just been going up ever since. And I have no special skills. I don't know. I was never taught marketing before. I come from blue collar oil and gas type stuff. So the event was everything. So you just have to find a way. And for everybody, it's different, but I had that same conversation with a guy on my team the other day who doesn't have certain products, and he was like, well, I can't afford it. I just bought a dishwasher and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, like you just said, Melissa, what if your furnace quit tomorrow? Would you have no money for that? He goes, well, no, then I'd have to do it. And I'm like, exactly.
Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to do it. That's the way you have to look at it.
Isn't it the question of, okay, so if you're in a place where you're saying I can't afford it right now, how much longer do you want to stay there?
Exactly. That's why you have to do it, because you can't afford it.
How much longer are you going to say, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it? Is that going to be your epitaph? And so that's really the bottom line is, are you sick and tired? Are you sick and tired of being there?
Yeah.
And when you are, then you will stop defending the reasons why you can't. You will stop giving the reasons. You will stop like saying, well, let me tell you this. And because I said on stage, I said if I had a nickel for every time I heard from people, but you don't understand, because they think their situation is special. I mean, there are some people that have done some amazing things to get, like things that sound like off the wall. But they wouldn't be denied. And so when you're more in that energy, when you can really take a step back, get into the perspective of, okay, I'm done saying, I'm going to the event, I'm going. I don't know how yet. You don't have to know the how yet, but you make a decision, I'm going, and you make a decision, I'm getting all in. And I'm going to be about finding whatever creative way I have to do that. Go to a friend and offer them to pay them a small amount of interest, like something more than they would get from their bank. Have them give you 90 days or 120 days or a year or whatever you feel is good terms, and they get a because certainly you're going to make a whole lot more money than what you would ever have to pay someone like that in interest. I mean, really, what we're saying, to be all in and Empower is so inexpensive, really, when you're looking at a business that can give you, it's like, what's the percentage of all in now compared to what we paid in other businesses that didn't even give us even a quarter of the income?
Yeah.
How crazy is that? We paid so little to be here compared to what we've done in other businesses,
20,000.
and have created so much more income, and so have so many other people.
Right.
I mean, it's insanity.
Speaking of insanity.
Oh yeah, no, it's crazy.
I start the workout program tomorrow. By the way, it arrived in the mail today, so I'll look like Greg Honest Chuck.
Now I've really messed him up. Grego. That's why he says Grego.
I'll look like Greg when I show up in Charlotte, because I'm going to be working out the next 3 weeks, man.
Well, yeah, you're
I got to start that myself.
Like, now they say, "Oh, Greg," instead of Grego, but everybody will say, "Oh, Kevin."
You can call me Go for short.
Hey, Doris, we're going to do.
Doris had a question.
Yeah, she asked about like traffic and whatnot. We have some connections that we've made for a lot of different solo ad providers and different forms of traffic, and we're going to offer that list to anybody who's all in and going to Charlotte. So we're going to.
One other disclaimer about traffic: you should not be buying paid traffic if you're not yet all in. You should not be paying money for advertising until you're all in.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many people put money into their business that way, not knowing what they're doing. They haven't even been through the products to learn how to do that.
Right.
So.
Well, see, and that's the whole lottery mentality. Well, so I'm spending my last dollars to get what I can get, and I'll get a little bit of traffic. I'll get a few products, and I'll get traffic. And if I make money, then I'll buy the rest of the products.
Right.
That is a flawed logic, because you know that you're not in a position to receive, and as I said earlier, that you're concerned. You really are repelling sales because you have subconsciously the idea that if they come in and they'll pass you, or if they ask you, what did you do? You're not the leader. I mean, honestly, as painful as that might sound, you're just not being a leader. What Greg expressed about, he said I didn't have any skills and whatever, but he was a leader, and that honestly is the biggest component for success here. He just said, we told him this is what you do, and he said, okay, I'll do it, because that's I see that makes sense. It's logic to follow if what other people who have had the success I want to have are doing, so I will follow that. This is the recipe, great, I'm going to do it. And so because he did that without any trepidation, with just pure belief that I'm going to figure it out, I'm going to be there, then that's why people followed him. That's why he had 10 people at the next event, because people want to follow someone who's going somewhere, not somebody who's kind of walking around in circles.
You're fired up.
Sorry.
Exactly.
I didn't sleep.
You got to be a follower. You got to be a follower before. You got to be a follower before you can lead, right? And then you just got to be a good promoter. That's all you got to look at it. You're not in, sure you can say it's sales. I guess we're all in sales in some way in life. Everybody is, but you just have to be a good promoter. Just say this is what we're doing, and this is awesome. It's that easy, But you won't get that conviction and that confidence until you've been to an event. It's just the way it is. There's no way around that. You just have to go to the event. There's no two ways about it.
And Pamela just asked a question. Talk about how you kept your belief up before your success. I mean, it was event, just what Craig just said. So Pamela, I would assume that you're going to be in Charlotte. So that is one big way. Because being around, I mean, who are you around in your daily life, right? Is it, for the most part, you're not around people who are on this path, who believe in that success. So, it is that's just that one reason to be in a room with all these people fired up and on the same path. There's something that expresses to your mind that, oh my gosh, it's possible for me too. But there is an energy that happens at events that it just takes you from believing to knowing, and you get it on a cellular level. And so when you're in a place of, like, you don't have those belief challenges anymore after an event. It's also having all the products, It's also working on yourself every day. It's also getting into reading, watching videos, listening to audios every single day, without fail, no exceptions. That is, honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons that we were able to turn the corner as quickly as we were after coming out of bankruptcy, is because we had been in the path of personal development for so long. And so, a lot of people come here and it's their first rodeo with personal development, and so it might take you a little bit more to kind of undo all of that pre-installed software that's in your head.
And that's where the 8 core principles come into place. Where Dave Wood talks about listening to audios every day. Pick an inner circle audio and listen to it 7 days in a row and really internalize the language. I tell people all the time that we all come here, most of us speaking English, and we have to learn entrepreneur. It's a whole separate language. The way entrepreneurs speak is different. Or employee versus entrepreneur. We all come here speaking employee, but let's master the language of entrepreneur, which is very different. Instead of, oh, Kevin and Melissa, I can't get all in, and here's why. Well, how can I? Just a whole, like, on the first day of a workout, you're going through a 90-day physical transformation. If you write an affirmation that says, I am a thin, lean, mean fighting machine, no, you're probably not. You're probably overweight and probably feeling like you have no energy. But I'm in the process of becoming that. So when you join on day 1, I'm in the process of becoming Empower Network's next 6-figure earner. Income disclaimer, see endisclosure.com for average earnings of average affiliates. So that's the language. And coming to the events, when we went to Atlanta, because we heard Dave Wood on the phone, Tracy Walker on a webinar, all of these leaders making money, but we hadn't been in front of them. Are they real?
No, and we made some money,
about 10,
because
20.
it's like in the beginning of a company. I mean, you have what they call low-hanging fruit. We called people that we knew of and whatnot, and they got in, and we were making some. I think we made about $18,000.
Everybody has low-hanging fruit. They're warm market. They'll just get on Facebook and tell your first 100 friends, and 10 of them will join.
Yeah,
which is the truth, by the way.
And that's the thing. If you're saying you can't get all in, are you, like, AK is a prime example from Austria that we spent a lot of time with in New Orleans. Here's this kid, 22 years old, had $0 to start with, zero. Waiting tables. Yep. And so he borrowed the money from his dad to get the master's. He just knew, I have to lead from the top. There's only one place you lead from, it's from the top. At 22, he knew this. And so he had $0 for advertising, and decided, well, I'm going to add 5 people a day on Facebook. And then he started having conversations with these 5 people every day. And he was so focused. And then he did the 72-hour windows and got them. He had a 60% rate of people going all in before we even had these bundles. Because he created that because his belief was so strong. And that's the thing. When anybody is telling me I can't go all in because of this, and this, their belief is not strong. You don't believe not only in that it can be done, but you do not believe you can do it. So it's not that you have a money problem, a skills problem, any of that. You have a belief problem. So the issue is to work on you every single day without fail.
Exactly. If you work hard on yourself and you work on your business, then it will pay off for you in the long run. And when you go through those 8 Fast Start videos, the new ones that Dave Wood just posted last week, he'll actually talk about John Maxwell. There's a story in there about John Maxwell, about what happens when you commit to an hour of reading, an hour of writing, an hour of listening to audios a day, and starting to do that every day without exception. Now, you're going to have to give up some things in the process. Maybe you stop going bowling with your friends on Thursday nights. Maybe you stop going to the bar and hanging out with your broke disc jockey friends like I used to do, which was painful in the beginning. I met Melissa and I thought, wait a minute, here's a woman who's got 2 small kids and actually does not have a job, and I'm living at home with mom and dad. So I swallowed major pride, thinking maybe the way I'm doing things is totally...
As Sam Crowley said, what a catch.
Yeah, what a catch. What a catch. Age 27, living with mom and dad, making $300 a month in my little MLM business. That's where I was.
I saw the potential in the, in the piece of coal.
Yeah.
So, there are no excuses. There are just, you can either make excuses or you can make money, but not both.
Doris asked about to do strategically placing people on power lines.
Oh.
And we actually had this conversation in the leadership chat for prosperity about you placing people underneath people and whatnot, and it really doesn't make sense, honestly, because you're really, that whole mindset of doing for people. Well, if you just come in, I'll put somebody under you. That whole thing is the exact energy that David is teaching us to get away from, enabling. Right. And what we're doing here is empowering, right? And rather than enabling people and telling them, we'll do for you, we'll do for you, we'll do for you, we are empowering people, you know, the whole teaching a man to fish, you know, instead of giving them a fish. Because it makes so much more sense for someone to refer their first sale, you work with that person, and then they're in a position to profit on the, you know, or to receive their first income. You had some of the things you want to say about that.
Well, let's ask Greg if did we spoon feed you, Greg, when you first started? Were you like,
say, Greg, if you'll just join our team, we'll put some people under you?
No, and I didn't talk to you guys for, you know, like once every couple months or whatever.
We talked to you in Atlanta. That's when we talked to you.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. Yeah. No, I mean,
we will talk to you, and you did. You did, and look what happened when Greg went home. He had a killer summer and came back with 10 people to the next event and hit 6 figures in a very short period of time compared to if he had not.
And I did awesome.
That. And you know, for people that, oh, go ahead, Greg.
No, I was just going to say I did that basically without spending any money on advertising. A lot of people do, you know, paid marketing. A lot of people do free stuff, and I was just, you know, just talking to people works. You know, you ask, like AK was saying, you know, you add people on Facebook daily, and you talk to the ones you're already friends with, and you just say how you doing, and you know, if you just got fired or they hate their job or they want more time with their family, and yeah, that's the secret. You gotta be a networker if you're a network marketing.
Yeah.
Right.
You were having a lot of conversations. I remember that in the beginning, just like we did, and I mean, so many people are afraid to talk to their. I mean, some people are afraid to just even post on their Facebook page. You know, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's your wall. Yeah. And if people are offended, they're probably not your friends. So you know, it's a good sifting tool.
I was ready to push out the broken.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, like either come along with me or get the flip out. You know.
That's
just plenty of
especially when you're showing. Yeah, especially when you're showing results. I mean, you know, and I don't mean necessarily your results. When we were posting, you know, screenshots of other leaders' results and saying, "Isn't this amazing?" and then putting our link, you know, if you're posting proof, I mean, the people that have an issue with that, I mean, that's just, I mean, that is a broke mindset. And honestly, it's a great Les Brown video on who you're surrounding yourself with. You don't want those people, those energy vampires in your realm, you know. So it's good to figure that out, and it's good to be in a place where you start to your daily conversation. I mean, the whole John Maxwell conversation you had before from the video, it's a cumulative effect. I mean, you might not feel something happening necessarily overnight, but when you're doing all of the things working on yourself, when you're taking all the steps, the action steps that you need to take, and then you are surrounding yourself, you know, it's kind of like Tony Robbins talked about in Personal Power 2. He talks about the, like, overwriting, like kind of like almost like a record that we play in our head, because we all have this conditioning. It's why we're in that place. Is like kind of like scratching the record so you can't read it anymore, and then overwriting that, right? You put in the programming that you want. Dr. Joe Dispenza, he was a guy in What the Bleep. He actually talks and shows video of a belief changing, and it's in the brain, the connection that as it's pulling away and finally pulling away, and it takes consistent work to make that belief change. We hold these things really deeply. And it's what controls us then, right? But he showed the belief changing, and all of a sudden the belief changed, and then it wired over here, and there was the belief change. It was really cool to see that and understand that it's not just something out in the aura, in the mist, that you're going to pluck out, and all of a sudden you're going to have, you know, glitter fall over you, and you're going to be successful. You know, it's something that you have to understand. You are wired. You're absolutely wired. You're wired. People are wired for struggle. Joe Dispenza talks about that too. Some people are wired to struggle. you get to a point where you'll start to have a little bit of a success, and you actually will self-sabotage because you have a release of chemicals. It's the struggle chemicals that you release are the same as the receptors as the receptors for heroin. And we all know how, if you've read anything about how addictive heroin is, it's amazing that you would create something like you say, but why would I do that? Why would I want to do that? It's not a conscious thing. It's that your body gets used to all of those things happening over time, and when things are going too good, it says, "Where's my hit? I'm not used to this." We need that struggle chemical that we're used to, and you will actually create the circumstances to struggle some more. So it is not like something that can just happen without some consistent effort. It takes time, and sometimes it's painful to grow personally. Sometimes it's like, oh, I don't want to do it, or I have to face some things in my life and take some personal responsibility. It's not somebody else's fault, and it's really something that, though it is a worthy pursuit, who you will become on your way to success is so important and such a worthy goal. Just who you'll become on the way to getting there. It's amazing. But
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. And as you're talking, I'm seeing our kids in there, Olivia and Tanner, inside the house over there, thinking, there's a component of all of us who are adults right here who have kids and grandkids in our lives. There's a big, big difference between telling your kids they can be anything they want and actually displaying that in front of them, right, and not being afraid to fall on your face in front of them, which we certainly have done only a couple of times per day.
But I mean, if you're, you have to be about getting up again, right? You have to be about, staying down.
Yeah.
Greg's laughing at me.
Yeah, he's laughing with us. He's laughing with us.
With you, yeah.
Awesome. Let's hear from Greg on this topic. What's coming up for you, my friend?
Well, we're just, I guess we'll be doing hangouts all week here and just getting people in, getting people all in, getting them to the events. I'm just working closely right now with my serious members that have just got all in, and the ones who are already all in. Like there's a couple on the call right now. We'll bring them out tomorrow, and just getting people excited and getting them to Charlotte. That's about it.
Well, and so many people say, Greg, that we always say the events are great, right? We always say, events are awesome, and they are. But there is something different that happened in New Orleans, and I know Charlotte is going to be that much more of a step because of what we're doing, and it's going to be an event like no other. This company has, like when it started, the energy that was in this company was amazing, and we're in a place now where I'm sorry, I'm distracted. Kevin's cooking here. But it was kind of like loosey-goosey in the beginning, right? They were figuring things out. It was just like, let's spray our energy all over the place, and and it worked. I mean, honestly, what this company did in its first 2 years has not ever been done in the network marketing industry ever, and I don't know if it will ever happen again. But now the focus, to have that energy along with the focus that's now here, being guided by Jonathan Cronstedt, who we've gotten to spend a lot of time with, getting to know, taking all the steps for our longevity, taking the steps to be more grown up, right? We're just more grown up as a company. I mean, David Wood, he only made a couple of off-color jokes on stage, and I was part of one of them.
Yes, you were.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I hope that makes the final cut. That'd be awesome.
Part of the product, but yeah, it really is an amazing thing. You have this phenomenal energy, and look what we created with this kind of straight out there energy, right? Now we have that energy, but just focused. And what can you do with focused energy? Like having the magnifying glass, with the sun behind it, right? I just see us just growing so much faster, and really putting so many more people in a place of being empowered, of learning and growing. And we have to understand that those of us have been here for a while. The experience we had of getting in and buying our products and whatnot, it's a totally different experience now for people getting started. So so many more people are being pre-framed
Mhm.
to buy all the products, and will with you or without you. And while we love roll-up sales and we love to get extra sales that it doesn't feel as good as when all of our team is making the money from that. So, because it's painful. It's not just that one sale. Just so you guys know, if they pass you on the levels that you have not purchased yet, a lot of people think that, oh, well, that's just one sale that's gone by. It can be worth so much more money because
All of their
it's
pass-ups.
because you lose that person, and anything they ever pass up, any pass-ups they pass up. So if you end up bringing in, an AK, and he goes all in, and you pass up 2-3 levels to us, well, that would be great for us, but you don't just lose that one particular sale. You lose every sale they ever pass up ad infinitum, and that gets really painful. So.
Yeah. Hey, I saw that we had a couple of comments more in here. Robert over here wrote on Facebook to me. He asked the question, hey, will you guys do some more Hangouts? Yes. And he also said, are you willing to do some Google Hangouts with leads or new members who get started? And the answer is definitely yes, Robert. We actually are building a Hangout website so we can actually have the whole ID equals.
So it can be coded to you so that they can click to get started, and it's
right.
Like we'll be selling on your behalf, basically.
Right. And that was a big takeaway that we took away from New Orleans with Dave Wood talking about team building. He said every time you do a Hangout, you should be selling. You shouldn't be doing a lot of team Hangouts. Now, this is a unique situation during these 3 days, but otherwise, let's do Hangouts where we can bring our subscribers and we can teach, we can learn a new concept, and also sell at the same time and make money on the broadcast. If each of us brings 50 to 100 eyeballs, then why not make 5 sales for each of us on the broadcast? Isn't that the best way to do it?
Absolutely.
I think Greg likes the idea of that.
Pam said she's involving her kids after we talked about that in New Orleans, and that's great. It's when we've had promotions, like we've had Tanner writing names on the whiteboard, and both our kids really understand. Because this has been our life for a long time, but with Empower, they've been to events. They see us on Hangouts. They know the people. We hang out with the people in our business. Paulo Barroso and his family just moved down the road, and we have Michelangelo up the road, and we have Justin and Dee, and Darcy and Preston and their kids were here and visited. Val Hatterley was here. That's who our friends are. And for some people, it's kind of painful. You may have to leave some people behind. Oh, sorry, I was going to sneeze. You may have to leave some people behind. I had a conversation, I don't remember who it was with. It was just saying that they sent them a message and said, like I don't understand this, what you're doing, and, basically stop being friends with them. And, honestly, that happened to me, too. A girl that I grew up with, who was my best friend growing up, she couldn't grow with me. She just was stuck and wanted to stay there, had no interest in growing. Used to say, oh, it must be nice to go on vacation all the time, that kind of stuff, that kind of backbiting stuff. It's just not, it's not good for, and you just have to understand that some people, there's a great metaphor or a story that they tell about friends. Some friends are with you for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And sometimes you become friends with somebody at a job and, they serve a purpose. And sometimes it's for a season. So it was my childhood. I had her as a friend. And then you have some people that are lifetime friends. Honestly, you will make such deep friendships and connections, and it happens a lot faster here because when you share so much of the same passions and you're on the same path with people, it's amazing how so many other things fall in line too, your beliefs, and that's really what creates the basis for a lot of friendships. So the people here, it's amazing the friendships that we've created. And so I know that kind of scares some people sometimes. It's like, oh my gosh, my life's going to change. People will leave me, so to speak. But it's all part of growth. Sometimes they'll come along with you and they'll grow too. And if that's not to be the case, the universe abhors a vacuum. You'll make a whole lot of new friends.
Yeah, exactly. And think about when we went to New York last month. We just had a blast with Alex and Anna.
Yeah, we never laughed so hard, I swear.
Oh my gosh.
They should be part of a Russian sitcom. It's like hysterical.
They are really funny. Alex and Anna Z, with their, they both had corporate jobs in New York City. We went to both of their jobs, sites in Manhattan. That was amazing. I couldn't believe, they're taking the train, taking the bus to work, and Alex was just white knuckling it until like 2 a.m. every night while he was working at his job, knowing that within 3 to 6 months he would replace his dang income and be home with his family. And he did that. We brought Anna home at the same time, which is awesome. So there are no excuses. I mean, AK, what a kick in the rear he gave some people. A 22-year-old kid that speaks English as a second language just as a hobby, and he comes in and makes $94,000 in 90 days. Not typical results. Income disclosure, endisclosure.com.
But Concept, if you're watching this, we love compliance.
We love compliance.
No, we really do. We really do. I mean, you have to understand. I mean, why we do that. I mean, it is for the longevity of our company, and honestly, we say it as a company and as reps. It's so much more out there, and it's insurance. It's insurance for this company's longevity. I mean, how many companies do we know of where they came in, flash in the pan, a couple people got rich off of everybody else's backs, and boom, they're gone, because they weren't compliant. And so I mean, it's just one of the things that should make everyone feel secure is that they insist on that. I mean, they're putting money. They have a full-time compliance officer, Andrea Weiland, who's amazing. In fact, we're going to have lunch with her next week.
The compliance officer invited us for lunch.
Yeah. And she actually likes us. It's not to tell us we're doing something wrong. But no, I mean, it's like, just think about that. I mean, these are the things that, oh my gosh, that hawk is back. We have a really noisy hawk.
No, we just clap like this. All right, I'll go get him. You keep talking.
He just sits there and squawks. He's like, he sits in the same tree and he says, "This is my tree. Nobody come to my tree. I just want everybody to know it's my tree."
He shows up in the morning at about 6 o'clock in the morning too, which is hysterical.
So anyway, I mean, these are just a lot of the things that are important to note when you think about, okay, if I get really uncomfortable and get myself all in, and I'm committed to change, I'm committed to moving forward, then will this company be here for me? These are all the things that you should ask yourself in any company, and here you really can be sure that yes, the company will be here for you, and it is worth that investment into yourself.
Yeah, we've made it through the hard times. If you were around in 2012 and even 2011, which we were just watching from the sidelines then, the stuff that was going through and the way they were marketing non-compliantly and all that stuff, it's amazing that they survived that. But the fact that they survived that, makes it so much more gratifying at this point. And now seeing new people come in and just have results. Every event that we go to, we meet somebody new who is just new into the game, making new money.
Yeah, Greg, can you remember Greg was with us in a previous company, and we didn't really have that so much. The dwindling events that we went to with that company. It wasn't, I mean, and dear Lord, did we need these products? Didn't we, this marketing system? No, we're going to launch this marketing system, and then you put your leads in our marketing system, and you don't take your leads. We so needed these products, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. No, I've never seen anything like it. I remember the day I joined, as soon as I paid my $25, there was a video of David Wood, selling me on the inner circle, and, it felt so good to be part of that, and that, I didn't hesitate at getting the products. And then went through the Fast Start training, and I was like, nobody is teaching this stuff. Nobody talks like this. So I thought right away, who else would appreciate this? Well, other people in shitty companies like we were in, right? So, because everybody out there is in a shitty company. So I started sending my link to those people, like, hey, check this out, and they had the same reaction as me. It's that easy, and they thanked me. I wasn't selling them.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
When we were in New York, we were into a conference that it was 99% MLMers. And, they're selling nutrition products, and most of them. And it was so eye-opening, because you kind of forget. We get a lot amongst our people, and you kind of forget what a lot of the industry looks like. And talking about three-ways and doing your prospecting and making time to do your follow-ups and making sure. And I realized how in that moment I was so grateful that, we talk to people, unless it's, like you were saying, more market, we talk to people after they get started, after they've already paid us. I mean, it's such a bonus. Yeah. And there was a girl out in the hallway having a conversation saying, you don't make calls, you don't call lists of people, you don't you don't have to do that. Like, and they actually mentioned us from State and said, like, there's all different ways to create incomes, and so they acknowledge us. We say, what have you made? Yeah, we made $500,000 in 2 years, disclosure.com. There's not one of the people there that could do that in MLM, just traditional MLM selling nutrition products. It's just not possible. It's like all of these things that we almost take for granted. So all of those people, what's so awesome about Empower is you don't have to tell them, hey, don't do your business, because that immediately puts a wall up, because a lot of people have a lot of culture around their businesses and whatever. Our products, will assist anyone in bringing more people to the whatever business that they're working on. So, you can just come at it that way. And we all know when they get inside and start looking around, they're going to say, well, what the heck am I doing this thing over here for? That comes.
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to talk briefly about the team going forth. And some of you guys here have your own teams as well. And here's what I recommend, is that this is what Dave Wood told us from stage, is that it's time to draw a line in the sand and really determine who's going to run with you over the next 90 days. And so Melissa and I are forming an all-in team. And here's how you qualify. In fact, we're going to have a PDF to send to you after this broadcast. In fact, anybody who wants it, just we'll send it to you. Just tell us where, and it's going to be a commitment. Dave Wood actually had a video on his personal Facebook site yesterday, his personal blog actually, and he went through about a 15-minute video. And I thought, man, this is awesome. And he said this. He says you want to work with the right people. We bring in a lot of people at Empower Network. Greg brings a lot of people in, and some of the other team leaders bring a lot of people in. But we've certainly spent a lot of time working with the wrong people who didn't follow directions, and probably the most frustrating thing we've done at times, isn't it?
Well, and you're trying to pull them along, or as more adequately, you can't push a rope, and it was so frustrating, and it was almost like Dave in New Orleans gave us permission. And what's interesting is those people are inspired by you just making a lot of money, like you being successful. If those people are ever going to wake up, it's only going to be because of that. And if they know to spend time with you, that they have to jump through your hoops, which in turn will help them, then they'll do that. But it's like, what is that whole saying? Like, why marry the cow when you can get the milk for free? It's
always great when the wife mentions that.
But it's kind of like the same concept, right? We were just giving, thinking, oh, if we just give more, then they'll get it. Then they'll finally get it, and they'll do it. And we were disabling people.
Yeah.
And I never, because, we love people. If you've known us for very long, you know how much we love people and how committed we are and so excited. We applaud people's success almost more than they do. And so it didn't compute to think that we were hurting them by helping them, or by doing so much for people, and that's part of the training that Dave goes through. That's going to be in our products from New Orleans. It made so much sense the way he explained it, and it's such the whole psychology of it all. I just had never even considered in all these years, and so there's going to be some hoops to jump through, and rightfully so, and guess what? Every hoop you jump through, you get better and better and better to get there. So. Yeah.
Dave Wood talked about, would any of you guys like to make the money I'm making and have the free time that I have? And Melissa and I just looked at each other and we thought, oh my gosh. There are some people we know here in Empower Network. There are some people we know who make good money working from home, but they're in front of their computers like 24/7.
And phone jockeys.
Phone jockeys. Where they're dragging their cell phones to their kids' ball games and stuff like that. And we want to be free. And more importantly, we want you guys to be free as well.
And if we have a conversation, it's about, from somebody who's already taking all the right steps, just how can they take their game to the next level. Those are the fun conversations to have, right? And those are the people that you want to spend most of your time with. And, so it's going to be an elite group. And, we'd love for everybody here to be part of it. If you're not directly enrolled by us, then...
Can I be part of it?
Well, we'll get back to you.
Maybe Greg should have to buy in again since he's been around.
Yeah, just do it all over again.
Oh, I'd love to.
Awesome.
But But yeah, I mean, if you're not directly enrolled by us, you can still participate. Just send us, like uh,
Yeah,
verification or whatnot.
yeah, exactly. Just somewhere in the lineage, somewhere. If you're on, you're on Michelangelo's team, you work with Michelangelo. So
Okay. But Greg's team.
yeah, cool. So here are the things that I wanted to also say is that Dave Wood has a lifestyle. Melissa and I have a lifestyle, but admittedly, we have spent a lot of time with the team over the last 2 years at times when we probably should not have. So you're going to see some massive changes this summer. We're not going to be doing a daily wake-up call and all of these hangouts. We're going to do one hangout a week, one team call a week for the team.
After this launch. Like
yeah,
right
after this
now we're
launch.
doing
3-day launch is different, right? But here's what we're going to do. We're going to lock arms with people who are going to Charlotte, and there are a couple of people who have a doctor's note, and they're excused.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a doctor's note, that's okay. But if you don't, you're not excused. So, it's time to. Dave Wood says something that's so powerful that I'm in the process of mastering myself. If you don't buy your own excuses, then you don't have to buy anybody else's. So start with your own. If you have excuses that you've bought into of your own, well, let's work on that first. And then as you get rid of your excuses, when other people come to you with yours, okay, good. Now you're qualified to say, you know what, I just got rid of my own excuses, so I don't expect any from you either.
And you don't have to understand, you don't have to know in this moment how it's going to happen.
Right.
I mean, because so many people say, well, I don't know how, so therefore it can't. So that's not the right equation, right? So even if you don't know how right now, stop saying I can't. That's the first step.
Right.
It doesn't. The how will come. If you draw a line in the sand, as Kevin said, this is it. I'm getting all in. I'll figure out how as I go. I am doing it. You are fully committed, and you ask your brain, okay, let's get to the work of figuring out how, and stop saying this is why I can't, and I didn't this and that. Because every time you say that, you are giving it more energy.
Yeah.
You can only flow energy one way or the other, to your limitations or to your possibilities. And, I don't know about you, but possibilities make a lot more sense to me. And so if you can just get your mind around it for the moment, if in this moment, if all that you came to from the words that we've been speaking is, okay, I'm going to let it go. I don't know how it's happening right now, but not only am I going to Charlotte, I'm getting all in. I'm going to figure it out. Okay, then that opens, right? It's like opening the door. Walking through the door is then figuring out, okay, so let's get creative. What are some things I can do to create this? How can I go find the money? It's really not a lot of money, guys. It's really not. I know it feels like a gargantuan task to a lot of people when you don't have it sitting on the nightstand. But in this day and age, if you don't have that money, that is a crisis. Crisis. I mean, it's an absolute crisis. You should be saying, holy crap, I've got to go figure this out. So once and for all, I don't have to be in this position anymore. Damn it, I'm sick of it. You only get so many trips around the sun. I mean, how many more of them do you want to live saying, I can't? Just get it done. Figure it out. In this moment, say, I've made the decision. The next moment, you figure out how. And we will be there to celebrate with you in Charlotte. We are going to have the best time. I'm telling you, this is going to be an amazing event. And if you walk into the Charlotte event being all in, knowing you've taken every step that you are supposed to take, everything we've laid out, but following the leaders, following that trail of breadcrumbs, if you walk into that event knowing you are in integrity to your business and to yourself, the sky is the limit. You will get so much more out of that event knowing that you're in a place, because hearing things from stage, if it didn't apply to you, then you're going to have all these stops in your brain. Oh, wait, I'm not, so that doesn't apply to me. And you will not get out of the event what you really should and could. So, we are your biggest cheerleaders, but we're not going to be your enablers anymore. We will tell you the tough stuff that you deserve to hear, and you will thank us on the other side.
Exactly. So I just want to briefly run through some of the things that are going to be available for the all-in. We're calling this the all-in, the audacious all-in, and this is how 10 people at least are going to get the 6 figures by the end of the year. As we get to $1 million, we're running for $1 million by the end of the calendar year. Be the 17th millionaires in Empower. There are 13 so far. I think there'll be 3 ahead of us.
Yeah, that are a little bit ahead.
Yeah. So here's what you guys are going to get for getting all in. And you guys know it's $2,997 to get all in. And it's, you know, if you already have some of the products, then it'll be discounted, of course, with what you've already purchased. You know,
It's all prorated.
right. Buy your ticket to Charlotte. It's $147, and you want to upgrade to the VIP experience. You definitely want to be in the room
Oh, that was
on
amazing.
Sunday. It's going to be awesome. Now we're going to have a private Facebook group for just the people that we're working side by side with in this special all-in group this summer. Just a little place where you can ask questions. I don't know if we're going to do a Facebook group or a Skype group.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure which one, but either one, that's what we're going to announce. Like, if we decide to, you know what, we just found out about this awesome traffic deal, you know, let's hop on a hangout and talk about it. Or we just figured out how to do this with lead pages, let's hop on a hangout and talk about it. And we'll show you step by step how to do all of that. There are going to be some things that we are going to offer to this all-in group that we're just not going to give the whole team.
Right, the whole team's just not ready for it because you have to be all in order to really start expanding your business. That's really the next step. So we're going to talk about how to build your own capture page, like using lead pages, which we've had pretty good success with lately, and how you guys can do that too, and do some step-by-step training and give you guys access to that. And also how, like Melissa said, finding the reliable traffic sources and finding reliable, like Facebook pay-per-click. Like we have access to some information on that too that we're just about finished with. And it's just all of the intangibles that we've been doing on Facebook. And of course, Greg right here, wherever he is on the screen, which way is Greg? Whichever he is. You know, Greg's a master at Facebook. You know, and it's also in the internet traffic formula, which some of you guys had. Chris Record went through and talked about how to build these chats on a daily basis and how to systemize it. Now he says he has up to 30 chats a day, which is incredible. I don't know how he does it, but you know, Chris Record works at like warp speed.
Record speed.
Oh, record speed. That's funny. Yeah. But there's definitely no shortage of tools that are available to you right now to generate leads. But we'll definitely have some of these masterminds. And also, Melissa and I have had some conversations with people like Kim Claver, with Chris Rushlow, with some of the other leaders of Empower Network.
That's a good example, Kevin. Chris Rushlow did a killer training on, and he has like even scripts and whatnot of taking people from when they get started and what to say in the welcome call and how to position and how to posture yourself and and all of that. It was a killer training. He did it in Seattle as well, and I asked him in New Orleans if he would come on a hangout and do that for our team, and he said he would, and that's going to be offered to our all-in team. Kim Claver has a lot of experience working with professionals and how to find professionals. Free leads, real estate agents, doctors, looking for advertising, how to do that. And so we're going to have her on a hangout talking about that. There are so many different leaders that we're going to give private access, like maybe one week we'll do us, and then every other week we'll have like a leader hangout, and that's going to be access in the all-in group. So it's like, if that hasn't sweetened the pot enough, you're on pot. I don't know.
Whoa!
Hey guys,
Holy cow!
Listen to this. Listen, I just got a message from a team member who's trying to get all in, and 2 days ago she said there's just no possible way, and I said, you find a way, sell stuff. She just told me she put her TV on Craigslist, and she's doing another ad tonight. And she's selling her car to get all in, and she's going to take the bus to work.
See,
that is impressive.
And you know what? She's going to buy a pretty sweet car not too long from now.
Exactly.
With proceeds that she'll make, and that's the thing. It's like, guys, you look around your house. You have stuff to sell. Yeah. I mean, when we just sold a bunch of stuff on Craigslist just to move, or like down because we bought new furniture and things like that. We sold so much stuff on Craigslist. And people come out of the woodwork to buy stuff. It's amazing. Look around. You have stuff you can sell. There are so many things that you can do. That's awesome, Greg. I mean, and that's the thing. You know what's so cool about that is when anyone on her team says I can't, she's going to say, listen.
Exactly.
This is what I did. And that's what I say. You're always writing your story. And she's just written a really powerful story. And all she needed was for somebody to lead the way. You should just shine, a flashlight on the answers for her and said, you can do it. Go figure it out.
Yeah.
You just were a leader to her. You didn't say, oh, well, okay, well, when you can, well, maybe, what I mean? Like, all that wishy-washy language that we hear.
Oh yeah, and she thanked me for that when I had a hard talk with her and told her what she needed to hear, and she just kept thanking me for my words and for calling. So did her a favor.
Yeah, I mean, your family might be ticked off that you sell the television, but you can buy them a sweet new one with the proceeds from your business. I mean,
yeah. Well, you're doing it for the family.
Yeah, it's like to sell your distractions, sell all your distractions so that you can be focused, and then when you don't have to be as focused, you can buy some new distractions. I mean, there's just so much you can do, guys. I mean, it's amazing. It's just about being open. But the answers can pop into your head, like you go to bed tonight and just say, okay, I'm open and receptive to some creative idea to come up with the money. And you could wake up in the morning and have it. It's just about being open. So anyway, I guess we've chatted long enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty complete. I thought, I'm going to put on Facebook here in a few minutes after we hang up. What are some creative ways that you've used to raise money to get all in your business, or something like that? And
yeah,
we'll
that's a good
responses on Facebook. So.
I like that, and I like the idea of the private Facebook group for all in members, because we were talking recently about getting our groups together more intimately, and it's just not for everybody that they're just like at the basic member, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like
and that's
not tuning. Right.
The main groups. That's fine. We're gonna mostly what we share in there is basic stuff and welcoming people and whatnot. But to be part of this elite inner circle mastermind group that we're forming, I mean, we're going to talk about some grown-up stuff, big boy and big girl stuff, because it's time. It's really, I mean, we've been, it's not. We're empowered when we talk to people who then go out and take action, right? I mean, how good do you feel, Greg, to know that person, that you've empowered that person to now go out and take action? She did it, and now she's going to pay it forward. It's such a beautiful reaction.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah, that's why we do what we do, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole reason. Yeah, it feels good.
I mean, there's many payoffs in this business. I mean, there's the payoff of money, of course, that's the obvious one. But I tell you what, the payoff of seeing people break through their own limitations and saying, "Oh my gosh, I figured it out and we did it," and that to me is equally as good as the money. I mean, it is an experience that money can't buy to be in that position.
Exactly. I think we should probably get some of these people out on the hangout in the next 2 days or
definitely.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we can do that tomorrow. We'll set up a time tomorrow. I missed a question earlier. I think Emmanuel asked about iPass. Coming up tonight at 8 o'clock, we're having another hangout with the Prosperity team, prosperityhangout.com, and you want to put your ID, your affiliate link on the back end of that, because there's actually a way for people to join when they're watching the broadcast. So we'll have some more details on that tonight, Emmanuel, as far as iPass. And I'll just touch on this briefly. iPass was ready to go a couple of weeks ago, but then Chris Jones got word of all of these enhancements to the compensation plan, and they had to redo everything and redo the packages.
Like the whole bundles, and so there's a lot involved in then even just the getting started process. Has to match.
Right.
It all has to match. But ultimately, when we do have it now, it's so in congruency with the company. Because they were already creating bundles. iPass was creating bundles before this all came about, and so that was gonna be the experience with iPass. Well, now the company's doing it, so it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It's just so congruent with what they wanted to do, and they're over the moon excited. However, it's created a little bit more programming, so it's patience is a virtue. But the great news is that right now, just the funnels that we're able to use, are working great. And another thing that I could just thought of that we can throw in is we created a version of Adam Whiting's sales video from Prosperity Team that's kind of like a shorter version, and it's ready to have like if you shoot a quick bridge video introducing it. We'll teach you how to pop that into iMovie or into a movie creator, upload it to YouTube, and then use it on your bridge page. That's one of the things that we're going to be teaching on the All-In Mastermind. So we already have that in the can. Kevin created a version that is just Adam's video, and you can pop your bridge right on the front. So it'll be great to be able to utilize that. That's worked out really well for us now with traffic that we're running. It's Kevin introducing the video, it goes right into it, and they can click right on the lead page, get started, it goes right to our start link. It's a seamless, beautiful process. And that's one of the other things that we're going to be teaching people. So, okay, so we've talked enough.
I think so.
I'm like, because I didn't hardly sleep last night. I got energy. I got energy from just being on here with you guys. So thank you.
That's the way it works.
Hey guys, now that while we're talking about iPass, I just want to recommend for everyone, if they haven't already got their free account, you can do so. Just get the link from your sponsor. But go in and watch that 20K game plan video. It's about an hour and a half, I think. I've watched it like 3 or 4 times. But when you can get the idea of how this is going to work for you, you won't be able to sleep, because you'll be all in right away, because just what Chris has designed with the tripwire offers and the whole process, sales are just going to be coming out of your you-know-what. So just get in there and watch that 20K game plan video.
Yeah, that's definitely good. And the fact that you just, that's a really important thing that you just said, Greg. You watched it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
How many people haven't?
Watch it.
I mean, but see what you do, but that's an important distinction, Greg. What you just said is like, you're inundating your mind, right? You're like being that sponge and just soaking all of that up. And that, if you're trying to get rid of bad programming in your head, you got to keep putting in good, right? So if you find things, if there was something that one of us said on this today that felt like it flipped a switch in you, then listen to it over and over again. You can watch this. It's recorded. You can watch it over and over again. If there's an inner circle audio that really speaks to you, do it again and again. It's like you have to keep overwriting that bad programming with all of the good, and eventually those synapses change, the belief is rewired, and it's honestly, when it happens, it's this subtle shift. It's not like fireworks. It's like you're rounding the corner, finding an address, and there it is. It's a subtle shift. It's an amazing thing. But,
3 cheers to the subtle shift.
Yeah, there you go. With our sparkling water.
Yeah, sparkling
Cheers.
water, kids. Nothing too exciting.
Cheers, Greg.
Cheers.
Okay, well, it's great being here with you guys. And Greg, is there anything else you want to say?
No, that's about it. Like I just said, that's pretty important right now. The iPass thing. We'll touch on more on that later, maybe tomorrow or whatever. But
yeah,
you gotta have that account set up and watch that 20K game plan video. Get your ticket to Charlotte if you don't have it. Just take the steps. Don't think about everything as just, oh God, I need a hotel, I need a flight. Just do one thing at a time, and it'll all unfold the way it should be. So. Right.
Good point. We'll put the links in. We can certainly get back to everybody and about the video. I think there's a way to look at it generically too. But yeah, you want to sign up under your sponsor.
Right. Sign up under your sponsor. We're gonna stop. We're gonna stop for today, and we're gonna push the stop broadcast button. But stay here, Greg, and we'll have an after chat, and then we'll sell the after chat for $47 if people want to see what we say afterwards.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, guys, we love you. Thank you so much for being here, and make sure you join us later on tonight. Make sure you sign up for Dave Wood's webinar tonight, 9 p.m. And why don't you just be out there? Make a decision to get all in and tell us, and we'll get you on the broadcast with the Dave Wood tonight at 9 o'clock. How about that for a bonus?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Bye, everybody. Thanks,
guys.
Love you.
Love you guys.